Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We're happy to have you. At this time, we're going to be handing you over to Mr. Small and Mrs. Harrison Thomas, grade coordinators.
Good morning, students. Good morning, parents. Good morning to my colleagues who are on this platform, on the Zoom platform, and in the YouTube space. A wonderful morning to you. We have to give thanks and praise for life, health, and strength. I am Mr. Small. I am the grade 8, one of the grade 8 coordinators, along with myself. I have with me Mrs. Harrison Thomas, and we'll be conducting the orientation session, the virtual orientation session for this academic year 2021-2022. Now, we know that in times gone by, that we'll be eagerly awaiting our meeting sessions face to face. We will be having, that physical aspect of socialization, getting to know each other, getting familiar with each other, and putting things together gearing towards the plans for the academic year and the activities that we have in store. Getting, the structure of the classes together, getting familiarized with the form teachers and the subject teachers, and all of that would have been done physically. But as you would have known, we have to be fighting with this pandemic, and so we have to continue to resort to the online space for us to have our sessions. So I just want to say that I am grateful, and we are grateful as the grade 8 team to have you as a part of our family and to continue to work together so that our students can benefit greatly. I am so happy to have you this morning. Now, I want for you to remember, well, bear in mind that you are already muted, and if you want to make a comment or if there's a concern, you can actually type in the chat. Interactions will be done on the YouTube space as well if there are concerns being placed in the chat there. And when we reach the question and answer segment, we will definitely be responding to chats as well as the raising of hand. So I want to welcome you, and I want your undivided attention as we go through this program. So myself, along with Mrs. Harrison Thomas, will be guiding you along. Mrs. Harrison Thomas, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
I too would like to add my bit of welcome to everyone who has made possible to be here with us this morning. Parents, students, vice principals, fellow form teachers, other teachers who have taken the time out to be here this morning. The grade 8 team would like to thank you. I know that last school year was a very challenging one for everyone. And I just want to encourage us all to be very positive. And as a part of the grade 8 team, we are praying and hoping, and we're going to be very optimistic that this school year will be a very productive and rewarding one. Students and parents, we are here for you. And I just want to pray up your strength and let us all trust in the Almighty God, because He doesn't give us more than we can manage. And He's able to deliver us out of all this tribulation that we're going through. So once again, welcome to our orientation session. And I hope that it will be a very rewarding session and a fruitful one. Thank you and welcome again.
All right, Mrs. Harrison Thomas. So I know parents, I know students that you feel welcome this morning. Yes, you feel as if you are part of us. You know, that little holiday period would have created a time for you to, have a reset, for you to assess what took place last year and what you could have done better, and just for you to reflect and with on what was the challenges, what were the challenges that you faced, and what you can now do going forward for the best interests of your child. And so we will be having our discourse where that is concerned. And we ourselves as an institution, we did our assessment, we did our reflection, and we have things in place to cater to the grade 8 family. So thank you very much, Mrs. Harrison Thomas. Now, our form teacher, one of our dedicated form teacher, Mr. Nicoy Mitchell. At this time, I'm going to ask you, sir, just to lead us off in this divine segment, you know, so that we will have that level of reverence and gear us towards that level of productivity in this session. So, Mr. Mitchell, over to you, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Okay, I'm Mr. Mitchell, and we'll
Right, sir.
devotion this morning as we show reverence to God. And I'll begin with this short prayer course everybody knows, and then we'll read a scripture, and then we'll pray. Enter my chamber, be free, Holy Spirit. Speak to me gently as I close the door. Heavenly lover, let thy presence cover. Shekinah unending is all I long for. Hallelujah. Now, our scripture reading will be taken from Proverbs chapter 3, reading from verse 1 to verse 6. And I know Proverbs was written by the wisest king on earth, King Solomon, who asked God for knowledge and understanding instead of wisdom, or instead of wealth and riches and fame. He asked for knowledge and understanding and wisdom, and God blessed him with being the wisest man on earth and being the richest king on earth in his time. So here are his wise words. He says, "My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So here is Solomon saying to young people, and even to everybody, but he's saying my son, and my son here is talking about a relationship he's having. But in this case, it doesn't have to be a biological son. It can be like somebody you know. So in this case, even when I say my students or my parents, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. Let your heart keep the commandments of God. Verse 5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." Verse 6 says, "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path." So here King Solomon is telling to trust God with all your heart. Despite whatever challenges, despite the situation that you may face, you know, we are facing the pandemic now, and most classes have to be online, even though the government plan to have it face-to-face, or even say you have online classes, but you're having challenges with the internet or device, or you need money or something's bothering you. Trust God, pray to him, ask him, and do not worry, worship him. And trust me, when you have him in you, when you have him guiding you and directing you, it will direct all your paths and will make your life much easier. If persons were doing what God wants them to do, or are following these wise words of Solomon, their life will be much better today, because he was a very wise man, and many people feared him and look up to him. So I'm encouraging you young people today, graded students and parents who are here. We have the teachers, you have the vice principal, the principal, right? And you have other persons who are willing to help work with you to make this journey an easy one and a successful one. So I ask you to cooperate, trust God, and work together, and trust me, everything will be in place in the right way. Let us pray. Most precious and eternal Father, as I come to you this morning, oh God, we thank you, Lord, that your spirit allowed us to see this day. Thank you, oh God, even though we cannot meet face to face, oh God, in the same room, but you have allowed for us to meet online using this platform, oh God. And I pray for the children that are here, oh God, and the parents, even those who are not here. Oh God, I pray that you touch them, oh God, provide for them. Whatever challenges that they may have, oh God, overcome those challenges, oh God. Oh God, I pray for the teachers as well, oh God, to strengthen us, oh God, and empower us, oh God, as we gear up, oh God, as we are ready, oh Lord, for these children, oh God, to teach them, oh God, to motivate them, to strengthen them, oh God. Lord, I pray for the coordinators, oh God, to bless them as well. For the principal and vice principals, oh God, the dean of the school, to bless them, oh God. Lord, for the parents, oh God, who have a children at home, oh God, to speak to them, oh God, encourage them, oh God. Tell them to give up, oh God, but have discipline and motivation, oh God. Encourage the students, oh God, or the children to come to classes on time, to go to devotion, oh God, to be respectful, oh God, to do their homework on time, to read their notes, oh Lord, to make the effort to come to school. But I pray you bless them, oh God, and touch them, open their minds, Heavenly Father. In Jesus' precious and holy name I pray. Amen and amen. I now hand back over to Mr. Small. Mr. Small.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mitchell. Thank you very much indeed. Trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord. You know, during the time of turmoil, during time of uncertainty, He is the man that you look to, and He will deliver. He has done so numerous of times. Everybody have their testimony. Everybody have a story to tell, and He will continue to deliver. He will be delivering, you know, us through this whole period, and He will be providing guidance as we go along. All right. So, my grade 8 students, my grade 8 family, parents, form teachers of this platform, I want to welcome you officially this morning to our orientation session, this virtual session. We have in our presence our acting principal, Mrs. Cecilia Rowe. We have our vice principal, Mr. Kenya Hansen. We have our dean of discipline, Mrs. Kerry-Ann Carr Roach. We have our form teachers, the ones who you will be meeting later down in this session. All are here on this platform, eagerly awaiting to address you. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. It will definitely be a period where we will be working assiduously together, talking about parents and teachers, committing our task to you, our students, in order for you to be better, in order for you to be more productive, in order for you to be men and women of the future. And so I want for you to think about what you did last year, students. Think about the challenges you had. Think about the challenges you faced, and think about what is it that you'll be doing better this year so that you can be better prepared to take on the challenges of this online space and of this school. As adults, let me say, it is complicated. It's a complicated position. It's a complicated situation, but we adapt and we learn. You know, there are challenges that we had last year where communication was concerned. There are challenges we had last year in reaching out to some of our students who were unavailable and who could not be reached. And so we have assessed how is it that we will be looking at things this year and how we're trying to reach to these persons who we haven't met with yet. And so we'll be meeting on a regular basis as a family, as a grade 8 family, so that we can have that level of intimacy going forward. We want to be having constant conversation about the best possible way of assisting our students and your child parents. And so I want you to be confident in what the program and what the project is for the grade 8s. So welcome. I'll be moving over to another aspect of the item where our acting principal, Mrs. Cecilia Rowe, will be addressing you. Please make her welcome. Mrs. Rowe.
Thank you so much, Mr. Small. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, good morning, colleagues. Good morning, parents. Good morning, students. Good morning to all the persons who are hearing my voice. This morning, I want to take the opportunity to welcome you back to another academic year. Academic year that will be filled with challenges, but as a school family, we are here to overcome all the challenges that we'll face. Now, last year, you joined Innswood High School family in the pandemic. And so you would have not gotten the experience that you would have had if you came to the school before the pandemic. And so we want to take this opportunity. We have made some plans for you over the summer. We want to take this opportunity now to share with you that we are going to be responding to the situation, and we're going to try our best to support you as best as we can. Now, last year when we met you in the summer, some of you we did not see on the platform, we did not hear from you for the entire school year. But this year, parents, we should be better able to manage the pandemic and respond in a very positive way. Now, as a school, as an education sector, we are aware of all the challenges that you're facing. We know that your students, your children do not have devices. We know that some of you don't have connectivity, you have connectivity issues. We know some of you may not be working, all the economic challenges. I know some of you are stressed out, you don't like online platform. Some of you don't know how to support your child in this pandemic. But we are here to tell you this morning that this opportunity that we're giving you is to reach out to you so that you know how to get to us and so that we can assist you with any challenges that you will be having to support your child in this world. Now, parents, I'm here to say to you as a parent myself, be encouraged. Be encouraged. Remember that regardless of the pandemic, life goes on. Life goes on. And if you cannot find the motivation, if you can't find the ways to support your child, reach out to us. Reach out to us. That's what we are here for. We have all the specialist persons in the school. We have the guidance counselors, we have the dean, we have the form teachers, we have the grade coordinators, we have the subject teachers, we have all these persons waiting to serve you, to ensure that your child is integrated into the system the way they should be integrated. So I want you to use this opportunity to spread the word to your neighbor, to the other person who know of a child coming to Innswood, to say to them, listen, we have to get up now, stand up, and respond to the changes, the new normal. Everybody have to get the program now. Some of you, your children have been out of school for the entire school year. We cannot allow them to miss another year. So parents, get up, stand up, and respond. And so today we're going to be providing you with all the information, all the tools that you need in order for your child to transition into school. Now, classes start officially on Monday, so please ensure that you keep in touch with somebody from the school. Visit the school if you have to get information that you need for your child to start their classes on Monday. Now, a video was sent out giving you some more information. Make sure that you join a group, the grade 8 group, so you can get all the information that you need for your child to get settled in school. Now, this is not a year to waste. You might sit back and waiting for face-to-face classes. If it don't happen, you should be ready and waiting to be in class, whether it be virtual or it is face-to-face. Face-to-face may not happen, and that is a reality that we have to deal with. So you must, as a parent, have the backup plan as to how what you're going to do in the event that we don't go back face-to-face for this academic year. Now, grade 8 is a very crucial year because the child is no longer a new student to the school, but now a returning student And there are some things that they need to get in order for them to move on to be successful in their exams at the end of the 5 years. Now, some of them would have wasted an entire year. And so we have no more time to waste.
What's that?
You hear about learning loss? Yes. Some students have lost all of the content that they should have maybe gotten in grade 7. And so it is now crucial for us as all stakeholders to ensure that the child recovers smarter. A lot of initiatives have been put in place, ready and waiting for your children. So we're asking you, keep in touch with us, make sure that you're in the know, and if you don't get anything in the online space, feel free to visit the school. The office is open. So parents, I want to take this opportunity to wish you all the best for the new year. Remember, reach out to us so that we can support you and we can support your child. All the best for the rest of the meeting. Stay tuned, stay focused so that you can get all the information that you need. All the best and thank you. Back to you, Mr. Small.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Rowe. Thank you indeed. Let me just add that we will be amplifying and enhancing our mode of communication. And, you know, when we're in a relationship, you know, let me put it in this perspective. When we're in a relationship, we have to communicate so that the relationship prosper, so that the relationship thrive. And so we have to be on the same wavelength, you know. So the relationship established by Innswood High School and parents has to be a healthy one, you know, so that our students can benefit. So I'll be putting my number in the chat later on, and I'll be awaiting any concern or any questions that you have, so that we can move smoothly forward. All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Rowe, once more. Let me move on to Mr. Hansen, our vice principal, for him to give his greeting.
So, Mr. Small, oh, then say me the panel.
Parents, I want to ask you to remain muted. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to those of you who are on YouTube and all of you who are here on Zoom. We're happy to have you. It's a privilege for us to be sharing with you this experience. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to a new school year. I know it has been difficult. I know the challenges are many, and I know you have many questions also, but we are here to answer those questions today. We are here to prepare you for what you will need to know, those things that you will need to do for this new school year. And so, as our motto says, we are doing our best to achieve success, and we're asking you to come along with us. Parents, now is the time for you to make the necessary preparations. Now is the time for you to make the sacrifices. Now is the time for you to do everything that you can do within your power to ensure that your child is educated. As it stands now, the things that we used to do as teachers, we are unable to do some of those things because the children are not in our physical space. They are in their homes still during their class sessions, and you have to help us to monitor the children. You have to help us to ensure that they complete their assignments. You have to help us to ensure that they get up on time and come out into their Google Classrooms for their sessions. And so we are depending on you greatly to help us to accomplish these goals as we go forward. I know some of you, many of you may be concerned about the fact that they are not coming face to face and they have difficulties learning online. But I want you to know that we are doing everything that we can do as an institution to assist you in getting the information, getting access to lessons, and we're going to be sharing some of those with you as we go through today. And so I want to encourage you, admonish you, don't see it as a waste of time or a waste of resources to have your children coming online for learning. It's not a waste of time. Any method that is available to us now, we will have to use it. And as it stands, online is where we are. And so I want to take this opportunity to say to you, let us work together. let us pool our resources and let us go out and do our best so that in a few years' time, your child will not be any worse off than those who graduated 3-4 years ago. And so we are here to support you. We are here to give you all the information that you need. Those of you who are not in the WhatsApp group for the grade, I'm going to ask you, not right now, but later on in the program, I'm going to ask you to type your name, parents, and your telephone number. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, I'm going to ask you to type your name and your telephone number in the chat, and we are going to take that information and we will add you to the WhatsApp group so that you can be informed in real time. Those of you on YouTube, we're going to ask you to do the same thing. Type your name in the chat and the telephone number, or if you don't want to do that on YouTube, seeing that YouTube is out there in the virtual space continuously, I'm going to give you a telephone number that you can send a WhatsApp message to and ask to be added to the group. All right. So we will do that later on in the session. Not going to do that right now. And so parents, students, welcome. Wish for you a productive year. And we pray the Lord's blessing and guidance over all of you and over all of us as we go through as we go forward.
Thank you very much, Vice Principal Mr. Hansen, for your greeting. Again, let me reiterate, please reach out to the school if it's a case in which you haven't received the information that you need. If you have any concerns and you're unable to get to the call and get to anybody who will be able to provide you with information, please visit the school outside of the lockdown days, of course. I'm also going to ask, as our Vice Principal mentioned about putting the names in the chat and on YouTube. And for persons who might not be viewing it at this time, I'm going to ask that you still place your name there, or you try as best as possible to reach to the school so that you can be a part of the grade 8 cohort, and so that you don't miss out on any information or your education as some would have last year. So we are trying to make some amendments and make some changes in how we reach out to our students. And parents, you do have a responsibility now. You have a responsibility not to wait until the 11th hour to be getting information or trying to get your students online and complain to say that you didn't hear anything from the school. If you see time passing and you're not hearing anything, please come by the school and speak with an administrator so that you can get the information that you need for your child to be online, and for your child not, so that your child don't lose out on anything. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hansen. My partner in crime, Mrs. Harrison Thomas. She of course will be
yes, I am here.
She will be introducing our lovely dedicated form teachers.
Yes, I will.
I'm going to move over to that segment now. So, Mrs. Thomas, over to you, ma'am.
Yes, good morning again. The duty is mine, or the task is mine, to introduce the hardworking form teachers who are part of the grade 8 team. It would be very impossible for myself and formerly Mr. Hines and now Mr. Small to get everything done in the grade. So we are a team and we work together. And form teachers, I just want to commend you for the hard work and dedication and discipline that you have bestowed upon the grade 8 students, and you will be rewarded. Thank you. For 8I, we have Mrs. Joseph Bonner. Mrs. Joseph Bonner, if you're here, please say something to our students and parents, please. 8I form teacher is Mrs. Joseph Bonner.
Just reminding form teachers that they will need to raise their hands so that they can be easily identified.
I'll move on and come back to.
Okay.
She's here.
Okay,
Good morning.
okay.
I'm Mrs. Bonner, the form teacher of 8 High. I would like to extend my warmest wishes to you all on the beginning of the new school year. As we all know, a new year, it can be exciting and a bit challenging as we face the pandemic and addressing to this new norm. So I just want to encourage you all. We just need to work as a team, because once we work as a team, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. All the best for the new school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bonner. Well done. 8N form teacher, we have Mrs. J. Mackenzie Campbell. Mrs. Mackenzie Campbell.
Is she here? Are we seeing her?
Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Our acting principal, Mrs. Rowe, Mr. Hanson, our vice principal, grade coordinators, Mr. Small and Mrs. Harrison Thomas. I am Junith Mackenzie Campbell, 8N form teacher for this academic year 2021 to 2022. As we go through the rest of the year, I pray that we will be safe. And even though it's online, I know it can be challenging for us, but we will work together as a grade, as a team, and for my form students, as we will meet on a daily basis. That would be 8 to 8:30 every morning, and I'm asking my parents to ensure that your children wake up and come to devotion, because we start out every morning with devotion at 8 o'clock. All right, parents, and I wish you all the best. And I hope my form class, everybody has their devices ready and waiting to get work done. But before I leave, my babies, they are my babies now. So as we move into the new academic year, we will be reflecting as a form class on our goals. What do we hope to accomplish for the academic year 2021 to 2022, whether we're face-to-face or online. God bless you all. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mrs. Campbell. 8S form teacher is Mr. Carr. Mr. Carr. Are you here, Mr. Carr? All right, I'll move on and come back to 8S. 8W, we have Miss Officer.
Good morning, Mrs. Rowe, Mr. Anson, Mr. Small, Miss Harrison Thomas, and colleagues, parents, students. I want to say good morning to you all. And I hope you are excited about this new school year as we continue to work on the progress of the students that are put in our care. We hope that as the new school year begins, the zeal and all the strength that we have, we will endure to the end. As we make this move. I hope that we have supportive parents who are able to support the students, because in this time the pandemic is a bit challenging, and it is a bit challenging for the students as well. And I want the parents to take that into consideration. There are times when they're going to be frustrated and they don't want to come online, but I want you to encourage them that one day this too might end and we will get back to the new norm, and we want to take them accountable for how is it they are going to move on. As for my form students, I look forward in working with you to the best of my ability. And I am so passionate about moving you from one level to the other, where you will be good citizens, not only for your community and for your parents to see, but for you to contribute to the holistic development of yourself and your country at large. As we continue to work and move forward, we hope that it will be a successful journey, and I look forward in working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Officer. Our form teacher is Mr. Mitchell.
Good morning again, everybody. Well, good morning to your parents and students. I am Mr. Mitchell, 8O form teacher, and I'm very excited to be working with you again this year. I'm looking forward to a successful year, despite our challenges, despite, some persons have to be adjusting to the new norm. But we hope that whichever way we work together, whether it's online or face-to-face, we'll have a good time, and that we'll be doing our best, especially for the students. And I know that the parents want the best for their children, and the guardians want the best for their children as well. So I'm looking forward to working with you for your cooperation, so we can work together with our grade coordinators, our vice principals, and the principal. And in the mornings, you will have a devotion with me. Also, there will be form time. So I'm looking forward to all of my students being at devotion to get a blessing for the rest of the day. And also, when they come to form time, they come there to have a good time as we can socialize and relax. Also, I'm looking forward to not hearing any complaints from certain teachers about my students not coming to classes. So I'm looking forward to all of you going to your classes. If you have any difficulties getting to class or any difficulties getting device or internet access, please free to contact me, as we have a WhatsApp group, or you can communicate in the Google Classroom as well. And I can help you to the best of my ability, and also get help from our grade coordinators and relate to our vice principal and to the IT technician who can help you in the area where I cannot help you. Okay, so I'm looking forward to working with you. And also, I know that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. The form teacher is Mr. Questel. Mr. Questel. Is he here? Is Mr. Carr here now for 8S? 8S form teacher, Mr. Carr?
Yes, that's here. Just waiting for him to unmute.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Barbaro Cuesta. I'm AD phone teacher. I'm going to work together with my students, parents this year. I am very happy for this opportunity to work with my new family, AD. Thank you very much, Miss, and everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Questel. 8H form teacher is Miss Lawrence. Is Miss Lawrence here?
What's your?
Miss Lawrence, you're on, Miss.
Okay, I had a difficulty a while ago. Okay, hold on. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mrs. Rowe, Mr. Mr. Small, parents, students. I'm super excited because I have 8H. And I know when I look at the students of 8H, I know that you're eagles and you're ready to fly. Now, what I want from the parents is their participation. You have to, as parents, to participate 100% in the lives of your children. And for the children of 8H, I want the same from you. Now, when we meet on a form teacher class basis, we will go further. But as I said before, I am excited to meet this group, and I know that I have the best class, the best grade 8, and you will show that you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Lawrence. Well said. 8G form teacher is Mrs. Lewis Morgan.
Sorry, Miss, if you're here, could you just raise your hand, please? It's very difficult to find you teachers in the long list if your hands are not raised.
Mrs. Lewis Morgan.
I'm not seeing her hand being raised either, so I'm not too certain.
Yes, I'm seeing her. Yeah, she's here.
There we go. Good morning, everyone. I was having a little problem to raise my hand. Good morning again, everyone. My name is Dahane Lewis Morgan, and I'm so happy to be a generous form teacher for another academic year. To all the parents, to all the teachers, I'm looking forward to be working with you. I have an open door policy. You can call me anytime. Yes, I did say anytime. I'm looking forward for us to be sharing ideas that can best benefit our children. And I do say our children. I take the business of school very seriously. I take the business of working with your children very seriously. So I look forward to be working with you for us to communicate, for us to build a better nation by guiding our children the best way we can. We will talk more when we meet in our farm group. And again, looking forward to be working with you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mrs. Morgan. Is Mr. Carr online now? If he's not here, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Small.
All right, Mrs. Harrison Thomas, thank you very much. Form teachers, thank you very much for coming out and showing your faces. I know that the students are excited to be a part of each group and that they are eagerly awaiting what's in store for this year. The students might be asking, how will I be a part of the form group or the form room? All that will be happening is that the WhatsApp group, the grade WhatsApp group or the class WhatsApp group that you are in grade 7, those information will be given to your form teacher in grade 8, and he or she will now be the administrator for that same WhatsApp group. All right, so you will be just moving up. You will just be promoted, in the corresponding grade 8 class. So if you were in 7I, you are now in 8I, and so on and so forth. So don't worry yourself. We will be putting things together, and you'll be duly informed as we move along. All right. So you see the excitement in the eyes of the teachers, and they are awaiting your energy as well. They want to feel that same energy from you. Remember now, we're not seeing each other face to face. The teachers are not seeing you face to face, right? So therefore, you have to show them that energy online. You have to show them that energy in the virtual space. Communicate with the teachers, all right? And so that it can be enjoyable while you learn, right? Learning with enjoyment is very, very important at this stage. So we are looking forward to having you and having this relationship and having this healthy relationship. Let me put it at that. And we know that we'll be reaping great benefit at the end. So thank you very much to my form teachers for really introducing yourselves. All right. Moving down to the meat of the matter now, where we're going to discuss the plans and the expectation for the reopening of school. And I will be re-inviting our acting principal, Mrs. Rowe, to address this topic. Mrs. Rowe, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Good morning again, parents, students who may just be joining. I want to big up my form teachers because I too was excited with that introduction.
Yes, ma'am.
Your faces and the smiles and all of that, I became excited as well and wish I was going to be one of the students in the classes. So well done, my team. I really enjoyed that introduction. All right, as Mr. Small says, to the meat of the matter, I'm here to talk about the modality. You've been hearing that word circulating about modality. Now, the modality that Innswood High School will be using this year, parents, is a mixed modality or a blended approach. What does that mean? It means that we are going to be starting off online, but we may have some face-to-face classes based on the guidelines of the Ministry of Health. Now, what we are proposing now, we have created a timetable that would have facilitated your students returning to face-to-face classes. And because we were not able to accommodate all of them at the same time, what we did was that we had grade 7s, grade 8s, and half of grade 9, which is O, 9O, 9D, 9H, and 9G would have come to school Monday, Tuesday, and half of Wednesday. That is from 8 to 11 a.m. in the morning. For the rest of the week, you would have had 9I, 9N, 9S, 9W, all of grade 10, and all of grade 11 coming to school the lower half of Wednesday, all of Thursday, and Friday. Now, with the new announcement of us being online for the next 6 weeks for sure, and we don't know what will happen after that, what I have done is to actually put some classes on the days that we're now calling no movement days. Excuse me. So for grade 7 and 8 and the lower half of grade 9 that I just spoke about, they will also be having some classes on Thursday and Friday for now that we are online, and vice versa. For the upper half of grade 9, grade 10, and grade 11, they will be having some classes as well on their no movement days, which is Monday and Tuesday. Now, when you get your timetables and they'll be circulated this week, you will kind of have a better understanding of what it is that I'm talking about. So telling you about it now, you may not understand in its entirety, but as soon as timetables are circulated, your form teachers, your subject teachers, your grade coordinators, they will be better able to break it down to you just in case you don't understand. So you'll be asking the question, Why my child is not in class sometimes? Because the timetable was prepared for them to come face-to-face for 2.5 days. So the other 2.5 days, they are supposed to go online and work in the Google Classroom on their own. So whenever you don't see a subject and you see a blank space, there's no subject assigned scheduled for that time, your child is to go in their Google Classroom and get some work done. Do their assignments, do their projects, do some reading, submit their assignments, whatever they want to do. But they should be engaged from 8 o'clock till 2:30 every day. On the timetable where you see the teacher and the class schedule, those will be live classes. What is live classes? Live classes mean that the teacher will be there with her camera turned on and the instruction talking in real time to the students. And the students are supposed to be seated at a desk in their uniform, ready to talk back to the teacher. Those will be live classes. The students will be seeing the teacher should be seeing the students. All right? So that is what we're planning for this year for the modality. In the event that the ministry gives us the green light to have face-to-face classes, your child will only have face-to-face classes for 2.5 days. The other 2.5 days, the child is supposed to remain at home, go on Google Classroom or go in the Google Classroom and do some work on their own. There will be no teacher having any live classes at that time. I hope parents that you understand, but if there are questions, we will take them later on, all right? Now, I also want to talk about registration. Now, this year, in our response to COVID, we decided to have online registration. So a link would have been shared in the different groups with parents and students who were able to go on in the Google form and complete the information, and it would automatically come to us. Now, I am aware that some persons have been having difficulties in registering online and uploading your different documents. So I will ask those persons to come to the school. We have 3 persons from the main office who have been assigned to assist you with uploading your documents and getting you registered for the academic year. All right, so if you're having challenges with doing it on your own, please visit the school where there are persons there to assist you with registration. Now, I am fully aware, based on the data that we have collected over last year, that 2/3 of our grade 7 students were not online. We received from the ministry over 300 students, and we only saw over 100, a little bit over 100 students engaging online last year. It means then that 200 of you were unaccounted for. You did not show up for classes at all. Those students, you are now required to register. And for those persons who did not do their medical and all the other documents that you should have completed for registration, if we are going to return face-to-face, you would have to complete all of those. Meaning, you would have to get your identification card done, your passport size photograph submitted, your medical, and all the other documents that were in the package that you did not complete and submit. You'd have to do those if the child is going to return to us face-to-face. Now, you would have had different challenges as to the reason you did not show up online last year. Please, parents, I'm asking you, we're begging you, reach out to us, spread the word around to the other parents, and let them know that they can come into the office and let us know what the challenges are so that we can assist wherever necessary. All right, so that takes care of registration. Now, for this academic year, if you were fully registered last year, or whether fully registered last year or not, this year, you'll be required to register again. If you submitted all the documents that were required when they were in grade 7, you would not need to resubmit those documents again. What you would need for this year is to fill out the registration form online or come to the office and have somebody assist you. There's a parent consent form that you would need to sign, and it has to be uploaded. The consent to medical in the event that a child gets sick at school, the school nurse can treat the child. So that form has to be signed by you. The bank voucher has to be presented as well in order for the child to complete the registration process. Now, the school fee, or not the school fee, but the parent contribution is $3,500, a measly $3,500 parents. This $3,500 that we collect is to assist with the online platform, the purchasing of sanitization material, and the maintenance of the devices that we use to cater to your children. It's a small amount, and we're expecting all the parents to make that contribution. If your child is on path, the government subsidizes the parent contribution, so you would only pay $2,000, and that goes towards security as well, health insurance, maintenance of the electronic devices, the payment of the school learning management system, because we have to pay for that for the child to be in Google Classroom, and for your reports to be generated. That is what the money goes towards. So we're asking you parents, I know some of you have been saying that you paid last year and school didn't keep physically. That is what we use the money. We had to pay for the learning management system because we've gone online, and we are paying over $300,000 per year to maintain that, plus maintenance fee for that system. So we're asking you, we also have to ensure that your child is insured, whether the child is on the compound or not. In the event that something happens to the child at home, you can still make your claim for your refund in the event that something happens. All right, so that takes care of modality timetable. Now, persons are asking about identification cards. We have not yet engaged the photo studio. We are waiting because we do not want the gathering at the school. So as soon as we have engaged the photo studio, we will let you know through the WhatsApp groups, through the Google Classroom, telephone calls, all the different mediums that we have at our disposal. Now, persons are also asking about the rental books, and that the child did not get any rental books last year, and we're aware of all of that. But because of the gathering limit right now, we are not able to have the crowd on the compound. So as soon as we get the green light to have you come on the compound, we will resend a schedule to you as to when your child can come, you or your child can come to pick up the rental books. Now the uniform is sold at Star Walk, that is in Hilo Plaza, as you refer to it. It's actually Spanish Town Shopping Center. We don't have the cost. You have to go to the store and get the information about the uniform. It is totally up to the supplier, the cost of the uniform, get it fitted, and all of that. If you're going to be purchasing a uniform, and because of the uncertainty of whether the child will return to school face-to-face, buy a bigger size, one size up than what the child would normally wear. So in the event that they don't physically come out, you can use it even if they gain a little weight over the year. All right, parents? Now, I think I have covered all. Am I allowed to take a couple of questions, Mr. Small, or should we move on to the next presentation?
I'll allow you about three minutes.
All right.
To address any concern regarding registration.
All right, so if anybody has any question regarding registration, in the meantime, I want to say to you that to reach to the school, the number is 876-818-1965. all the other numbers that you'd be calling would not be working because the phone lines are down. So the only number we have now is 876-818-1965. Now, parents, the numbers work, that number work between 8 and 4. 8 and 4. We don't have somebody to constantly manage that phone. Working hours, 8 to 4, not on weekends, 8 to 4. After 4 p.m., very unlikely that you will get a response until the following day. All right, so please keep it between the hours of 8 to 4 p.m. All right, Mr. Hanson or Mr. Small, if you're monitoring the chat, is there any question that I would answer regarding registration before you move on?
Not at the moment.
Okay. What now the uniform that you'd have purchased last year can still be used for this year. So remember that when the child goes to class online, the child is supposed to be showing with at least the top of the uniform. We don't want to see them in their home clothes. We want to see them in their uniform. All right? And if they did not purchase a uniform, they should be wearing a white shirt or a white top, shirt top. All right? All right. Okay, the number is 876-818-1965. That's the only number you can reach us on right now until the phone lines have been restored. All right? We're going to be resharing the registration link in the different WhatsApp groups. Please, parents, if you are unable to register using the link that was shared, please visit the school and there'll be persons there to assist you. All right? All right. Thank you, parents, and enjoy the rest of the session. Back to you, Mr. Small.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Rowe, for that informative segment. Parents, I do hope that you have heard every bit of that information and keep it documented somewhere so that you can make reference to it from time to time. All right. So please be reminded. Please be reminded that your students will be engaged face-to-face, virtually, face-to-face, virtually, let me put it like that, for 2.5 days for each week. Please bear that in mind. So on Thursday, on Wednesday afternoon, Thursday and Friday, parents should not be calling to say that there's no teacher on the platform for my child, right? You have been informed that the child will be engaged virtually, face-to-face, seeing the face of the teacher for 2.5 days. The other 2.5, the child will be engaged or will be doing online work. It will be posted in the classroom and they will be doing the work from there. All right, so please bear that in mind. All right, before I move on to teaching and learning modalities, I know that Mrs. Raj had addressed that certain aspect of it. Mr. Hanson has more to put in that aspect there, but I just want to just plug in the plan that we have for the grade 8 group this year. I know that last year for the devotional activity and devotional exercise that there is a segment before the starting of classes that you would have class devotion. We will be for this year having a general devotion for grade 8 on a Monday. All right, so I just want to plug that in while we go along. A general devotion for grade 8 on a Monday morning from 8 to 8:30. And the invitation will be sent to every student on the grade 8 platform to join that room so that on a Monday, they'll be joining with everybody. They'll be joining with the grade 8 family to have devotions there. All right, so I just want to plug that in. All right, let me just quickly move down.
Before you move, Mr. Small, before you move on, I just want to say to the parents, that the package, the cost of the package is $200. The cost of the package is only $200. and you must purchase a package before you can register. There are some documents in the package that you need to complete along with the bank voucher. It is there. If you're having difficulties, I heard that some persons are having difficulties in paying the fees at the bank, where we're trying to ascertain a card machine for you to come to the school and you'll be able to swipe your card to pay the school fees. Or if you don't have any of those facilities available, then you can pay in cash. You can pay the cash at the main office. We will collect the money from you. So if you're having problems paying it online, you can come to the school and pay the cash at the school. Now, there will be no book list. There's no book list in the packages. There's no book list. We are trying to ascertain some e-books, meaning some electronic books where the child read online, and only the textbooks that are given from the ministry will be distributed. The parents are not required to purchase any books unless the teacher advises you to do so. So there's no book list in the packages for you to, we are not going to be accepting a copy of the bank voucher via WhatsApp. You're either going to upload it using the Google form, or you physically take it to the school. So we are not going to be accepting WhatsApp copies of bank vouchers. All right, thank you. Back to you, Mr. Small.
All right, Mrs. Rowe, thanks much. Let me just move down now to Mr. Hanson, our Vice Principal, who will be addressing you on teaching and learning modalities. Mr. Hanson, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Small. All right, so I'm just going to run right into it because I see the time is getting away from us. Many of you students are asking about your classes and how will you get into your classes and when will you be added to your classes and so on. So this is what I want to let you know. Your email address and password that you had from last year, you will need to ensure that you still have that information in order to access your classes. Now, we have created some new classrooms for you. So the classrooms that you were in last year in grade 7, that's not where you're going to go this year for your sessions. However, we're asking you to remain in those groups, those classrooms. Don't leave the classrooms. Remain in your classrooms from grade 7. However, we're going to send you some invitations for new classrooms. We expect that you're going to log in, accept the invitations to those classrooms, and then your teachers will meet you there. So don't exit the last year group classrooms, stay there. We will move those classrooms when we are ready. We will move those classrooms when we are ready. So we're asking you students, go into your Google Classroom, select the different subjects that you will see come up, the different rooms that you'll see pop up, and join those rooms. After you would have joined those rooms, then you will know exactly where to go when you have your sessions. When you have math, you will know which math room to go into. When you have English, you will know which English room to go into. You will know which form class you are in. So if you were in 7I last year, you will know if you're going to be in 8I because the form room will come up in your Google Classroom space. And all you'll need to do is to accept the invitation. So, seeing that if you don't remember, now listen now carefully, parents and students, listen carefully. If you don't remember your login information because you changed your device and you have a new device, what I'm going to ask you to do is in the WhatsApp group that you're a part of, your grade 8 WhatsApp group, I'm going to ask you to send a message to that group requesting your email address and password, and we will assist you. All right, send us a message via WhatsApp and we will assist you. You got the telephone number just a while ago that you need to send your messages to. Just send a message, a WhatsApp message, and inform us that you cannot access your classroom because you don't remember your password, and we will send you the information you need. Now, you will need to follow your timetables in order to go to class. Last year, some of you did this. You got up and you went into any room you feel that, and then you see that the teacher is not there. That's not how it works. On a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, when you have classes, and you will have a few on the other days as well, as was explained by Mrs. Rowe earlier. On a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday now, let me start with that. You will look at your timetable, check to see which subject you have. So after devotion, so you go to devotion first, remember that. After devotion, you check your timetable, look to see which class you have, and you will go into that particular room and join the meet session there. And then when that session ends, you will check to see which other subject you have. You check your timetable. When you get used to the timetable, you will know exactly where to go each day at the different sessions. Or you can print it and put it up in your room so that you know where to go when it's time. But please do not just go into any room and then say to your parents that there's no teacher. Parents, listen to me carefully now. I'm talking to you now, parents. Don't let them tell you that there is no school. There is no class. Lay in bed until 10 o'clock, and when you ask them, why are you not in class? Oh, the teacher is not there. No. Let them log into the room, log into the classroom, to the meets room, and show you that the teacher is not there. Here's the reason why we're saying to you, there must be some level of supervision. Because parents, the truth is, when you're out at work, some of them don't go to class. And you may believe that they are going to classes, but they are not there. So what I'm going to ask you to do sometimes, parents, if you're on WhatsApp and you have the child on WhatsApp while you're at work, take out your phone and video call the child and say, show me, turn the phone and show me the class so that I know that the teacher is there and you are there. We have to try some new things. The old methods may not work, but we have to try some new methods. So you would have to do that sometimes. And if you have any issue at all, and if your child is giving you stories, send a message in the WhatsApp group. If you're in the WhatsApp group with your form teacher, ask a message there. In the general group, the grade 8 group, ask your questions there. There are parents who maybe are at home with their children and know what is going on. Even if we don't respond, there are parents who will be able to say to you, yes, the teacher is in class because my child is there. Or yes, the class ended early because the internet went down and the teacher doesn't have any internet, but the child can go into the Google Classroom and get the work in there. So don't be afraid to ask your questions, and we will be there to answer your questions. The important thing is that they are online. If you have any issues at all getting into your Google Classroom, doesn't matter what the issue is, any issue at all, send us a WhatsApp message and we will respond to you. And we will have the issue rectified. Do not wait until December when it's exam time to be messaging us to tell us that the child is not in the maths class because the child would have missed the entire term. Don't wait. If you realize that the child is not getting any maths class or any English class or social studies or science, whichever subject, don't wait. Let us know that your child is having an issue accessing that class so that we can address it. It could be that the invitation was sent and the child didn't see it, and all sorts of things can happen. It is a virtual space. We have technical issues sometimes. So we're asking you parents, check the timetable. Check to see the subjects that your child should be doing. Check to ensure that your child is in all those Google Classroom rooms. And if you don't see a child in one or two of them, let us know so that we can address it from early. All right, so I'm going to move now to, well, before I move, I just want to let you know that we are working on grade 7s. We are not complete yet with putting all the grade 7 students, all the grade 8 students in all their classes. I'm still calling it grade 7s. We are not finished yet doing all of it. Most of you are in your class, but I think there's one class that is still out. So if you go into your Google Classrooms now, grade 8s, you will be able to accept the invitations to your classrooms, to your different subject classrooms. So after this meeting, I'm going to ask that if you have not yet done so, because some of you have done so already, because we know we can see when you accept the invitations. If you have not yet done so, go into the room, accept the invitations. Remember, we have said to you, don't exit the old classroom yet. We will remove those classrooms when we are ready. Stay in the old classroom. But the new classroom, it has a specific banner on it. I think grade 8 is blue. It's a blue banner. So when you see that, you definitely know that that's a new room. And it says grade 8. And the subject is there. So please keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to move to the My School Jamaica platform now. This is a different platform. My School Jamaica platform is a system that we use to manage attendance of the students' grades. When it comes on to reports, it's a system that we use to publish reports and so on. All of you students, you have a My School Jamaica login, ID number, and password. You would have used it to access your reports in the last school year. It remains the same. Your login information remains the same. So if you want to go on for any reason at all, if you want to go on to view your reports, to download your reports from last school year, you can do so. Your form teachers mostly will use that system to mark your names in the days when you come to school and so on. So I'm going to ask you to ensure that you have that information as well. Don't discard it, don't delete it. Ensure that you can access My School Jamaica and you can access Google Classrooms. Now, as it relates to marking the names, I'm going to touch that and then I'm going to close this segment. In the mornings, when you go into your devotions, your teachers will mark your names. Your teachers will mark your name. So it means that you have to get up and go into your devotions in the mornings because you'll be marked there. The teachers will also set up an online facility for you to mark your names yourself to say present or absent. Some of you may have used that last year in your form rooms and in your different classrooms as well. We will still set that up, but bear this in mind. We know that some of you are going and marking the name present and not showing up for your different subjects. So you're going in the mornings and you go to devotion and the teacher marking name you're present, but you don't go to the classes throughout the day. Students, let me just say this to you. If you are absent from your classes, you are doing yourselves an injustice because at the end of the day, it affects you. It's not going to affect your teachers. It affects you. When it's time for your exams, you're gonna have difficulties. When it's time, when you get your reports, you're going to see some blank spaces. And those of you who have made plans and projections to be promoted or to move from that class to another class, you may not move because of those things. So I'm going to ask you, please do your work in your Google Classrooms. Go to your classes, mark your names in the mornings, go to your devotions, participate in your sessions, because this is now the modality that we are using for teaching and learning. We don't have anything else right now. We don't have face-to-face right now. This is what we are using. All right, so I want you parents and students to ensure that you put out your 100%. You may not like the online space, you may not like the Google Classroom, you may want to be face-to-face, but we don't have that now. And so we're asking you to do what you need to do now. Do what you need to do now in order to reach your goals. Very important. Now, I'm going to be posting a poll. I'm going to be posting a poll. It's going to come up for those of you who are on Zoom. For those of you who are on YouTube, I'm really sorry, but you will not be able to participate in this poll. This poll is going to ask you some questions about vaccination. And so I'm going to ask you to complete this poll on your screen. It's going to pop up on your screen, and all you need to do is to just select yes or no for each of the questions and then submit, and I will get the responses. Now, it's very important. We want to use this to gather some information from you, parents, because you may have heard on the news. You may have heard on the news that the students, we have to have a 65% vaccination rate in the institution before students can come back face to face. So even if we want to come back face to face and a certain percentage of our population is not vaccinated, then we still will not be able to come back face to face. So I want you to know that as we go forward. So I'm going to be putting out this poll to get some feedback from you to see, for us to understand where your thought process is and what you plan to do, parents and students alike. So I'm going to ask that you just pay attention to your screen. In about 5 minutes or so, you're going to see that poll popping up on your screen. Just complete it. For those of you on Zoom, just complete it, submit it, and we will be very grateful for your participation and for the information. All right, thank you so much. I hope that I have given you some valuable information. Please ensure that you do all that is necessary to get into your Google Classrooms so that teaching and learning can take place, for your children. Thank you so much, Mr. Small. I'll just hand over to you at this time.
All right, Sir Hanson. Thank you very much, sir. Very informative. Parents, you now have an understanding of where we're going, what is it that we're doing. And so we should be in good stead for the kickstart of our new school year. And we'll be starting on Monday of next week, where the online engagement and classes and meeting teachers and communicating and interacting in the online space is concerned. So Monday, that we'll be up and running. And so it is very important that we understand what is it that we should do. So the mode of communication is very important, and the medium to which we'll be communicating are through the WhatsApp groups. We'll be having the form teacher WhatsApp groups, where a little bit more, they're going to be having a little bit more intimacy there, where the students will be speaking specifically with their form teacher and interacting with their form teacher from that aspect. In the form WhatsApp group, there's a general grade 8 group, WhatsApp group as well, the grade 8 cohort. I think right now, based on my based on what I saw, we have about 121 or so members in that group. All right, and it can only accommodate 221 or 221, I think. And so we are still awaiting others to really populate that group. So we want to have the communication lines open. So whatever concerns we have to share can be shared there. Another mode for students is the Google Classroom. Your teachers will be posting activities, posting notices in the Google Classrooms as well. And so you have to be checking very regularly. Some of you set it that you get the prompt on your device, so you check and you are on top of things where the information is concerned. All right, and of course you were given the school's number. Document that, keep it with you so that you can call and get the needed information that you actually request. So we have the lines open, and we're trying to cover all our tracks so that we have a smooth sailing with going into the new school year. Thank you very much, Mr. Hanson, for that. Let me just move down now to Mrs. Carl Roach, our Dean of Discipline, and she, of course, will be addressing you on discipline and online learning expectation. What is it that you expect? What is it that we expect, and what is it that you should expect online? Mrs. Carl Roach, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Small. Greetings, all. Greetings, colleagues, Mrs. Rowe, Mr. Hanson, Mr. Small, coordinators, form teachers, our abled parents and students. It is my pleasure to be here with you this morning. And I'm just going to get right into it because, as Mr. Hanson said, yeah, we're pressed for time. All right, so I'm going to talk to you a little about our expectations, what it is that we expect of you as you come to school in the virtual space. as you would have engaged last year. And some of you might be thinking, but we know this already. But we have a greater expectation of you this year because you would have gotten the experience to do it before, all right? So our expectations of you are now greater. So right now, students, I want to encourage you and parents, pay keen attention. Ensure that your child is present and on time for all sessions. As Mr. Hansen said it before, we need your supervision, parents. We need you to pay keen attention to the timetable and ensure that you are present and on time. Prepare for your classes, prepare for your sessions from the night before. Don't wait until 7:30 or 7 that you begin to put your uniform together, your materials together. You need to ensure that you are prepared for your class, just as you would if you were coming to the face-to-face class. Now you are, and one of our form teachers, Mrs. Campbell, spoke about it. And not only her, but you are expected to be in registration every morning, each morning, and you are to be on time for your registration. We expect parents, and this is where you come in, work with your child and establish a conducive work environment in the house. You can't have the child in the bedroom. You can't, I mean, some coaches are way too comfortable. So you really want to work with your child and establish an area designated for class. You can put a little chart there or something, anything that kind of puts them in the frame of mind for school. So parents again and students, not just anywhere, and you want to ensure that the area that you have identified, that there's little distraction, little noise, that the child can focus at that time. Please ensure, students, that you are clad in your uniform. If you do not, excuse the noise in the background, if you do not have your uniform, you wear your PE shirt. Mrs. Rose spoke to that already, or you can wear a plain white shirt, but that will not be permitted for the entire time. You're expected to be properly attired. Now, students, when you're in class, and parents, please talk to your children about this. Do not take anything for granted. We encourage that you address your teachers, the facilitator, properly at all time. Okay, so we address our teachers and our coordinators by Miss or Sir, Mr. Small, Mr. Hanson. If you don't know the teacher's name, you can say Sir or Miss. Please encourage your children to be respectful and, you know, to be manners-able. So use words like, excuse me, may I please, thank you. Let me tell you something, you'd be surprised some of the behaviors that we have experienced during the whole online. And as I said to you before, parents and students, don't take anything for granted. Please use up your excuse me and your thank you and may I. You are also encouraged to use the raise hand icon. As you enter your virtual classroom, your mic is to be muted. Your mic is to be muted. And if it is that you have a question or you have something to say, you raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged by your teacher or by the person who is conducting the session. If it is that you're experiencing connectivity issues, please make every effort to reach out and communicate this to us in a timely manner. If it is that your child, I spoke about attendance and punctuality before. If you are having a problem, I mean, there are times when there are unforeseen things that you have no control over. But please, parents, please communicate to your form teacher, your grade coordinator, myself, or your vice principal in a timely manner about what is happening. Mr. Small gave out his number, Mrs. Rowe gave the school number. I will also give my number so that you have our numbers to communicate with. All right. Parents, please encourage your child as it relates. For your display picture, you should have a picture with no mask or covering over the head. It must be a clear picture so that you can be identified, so that when your camera is off, we are still able to identify you. Whenever you're entering the virtual classroom, you must enter with your full name. So no nicknames, no emojis of any kind. You must enter the classroom with your full name. So Carrie Ann Carr, full name, not Mighty Mouse or anything like that. No nicknames, all right? I believe I've covered. Parents, we expect that your child is to be attentive. Students, we expect you to be attentive and to participate. If you're having any challenges, there are a number of different ways that you can communicate. You can send a WhatsApp message or you can send an email. Please, if you're having any challenges, if it is that your child does not have a device, if it is that you're having connectivity issues in your community or in your area, we want to encourage you to communicate. Let us know so that we can offer you the necessary support. Last year, we had a lot of students who were absent and we're trying to find out why. Please, I'm asking, begging with you parents, please let us know and communicate the challenges you're having. We have our guidance counselor, myself and the vice principal and the principal and your form teachers who are very quite able to assist you. Our parents, we welcome your participation and we welcome your input. But I want to encourage you parents, if it is that you're at home and you make an observation, you know, something that's troublesome, or maybe you want to commend a teacher, we ask that you do not disturb the class. Please send a message privately. We have had instances of that as the session proceed, where we might have parents who interject and we are discouraging that behavior. I'm sorry, the poll came up in the middle of my talking. Sorry about that. All right, so parents, we want to encourage you to not to disturb your child or ward while they are in class. Try not to disturb, try not to send them go shop during class time. Try not to talk to them or ask them to pass something. Respect class time, okay? Be cognizant and teach your child to respect their class time. All right, I believe I've covered most and my colleagues covered some of the other areas, what is expected of you in the virtual classroom. I just want to shift gears a little. We all my colleagues, everybody, we've been talking about how challenging it has been during this time. I would like to consider this as our muscle building time, our muscle building time. I believe, I have faith, and I'm trusting God that at the end of this pandemic, we will all come out stronger if it is that we focus on the positive. Now, I know that a lot of persons have expressed how difficult it has been, you know, having to be apart, having to distant from each other. And we are social beings. It has been difficult. It has been very stressful. But parents and children, I want to encourage you that at the end of it, you will come out stronger. Right now, I want to encourage you, just a few tips on how to cope during this time. I want to begin by saying to you, parents and children, believe it or not, listen to this first tip, suggestion, recommendation that I am going to be making. Take a break from the news. Take a break from the news. Sometimes 2-3 days. Just no, don't read the papers, don't watch the news, because it proves, especially because we're in the middle of a pandemic, it is overwhelming and it can be it even cause more stress when you see that the numbers are going up and when you see that there are accidents and there are so many incidents of violence. It causes a lot of stress. So parents and students, I want to encourage you, every now and again, take a break from the news. Take time out to relax. Take time out to take a deep breath and relax. Not just 2 or 3 seconds. 50 minutes or half an hour. Take time out to breathe and to relax. Listen to music, gospel music, instrumental music, something that calms your spirit, something that speaks positivity over you and into you, and also your family. Parents, I know that it is difficult for you. I know that a lot of parents would have lost their jobs during this time. So you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful of how you are dealing and coping in this time. Find somebody to talk to and to share with. That is something that I do very often. Find someone to talk to and to share with. How are you coping? How are you managing? We've been on lockdown now 2, 3 days, and trust me, sometimes it can be not only boring but just stressful because we are taken out of our comfort zone, right? Find somebody to talk to, find somebody to call, and also find somebody to check on. Call somebody and ask how they're doing. Research has shown that when you do good for others, it actually helps you to feel good about yourself. So even though you might be feeling stressed and you might be feeling down, find the energy, find it in you to reach out to someone. All right? Parents and students, I want to encourage you, even though we're told not to move, find healthy ways of moving. You can move around your house. You can wake up in the morning, parents. You can encourage your children or your child. So, find an exercise program, 15 minutes, half an hour, to get up in the morning, play some music, and get moving. You also want to ensure that you're getting sufficient sleep, especially for students. I've had a lot of parents complain that their children are staying up late in the night on social media, and that can cause more stress. If you don't get enough sleep, you can become fatigued and you can feel miserable. So encourage your child to put away the tablet, put away the devices, and get enough rest. Okay, you also don't want to have the child sleeping for the entire day, because that has proven to be a sign of depression. If the child or the individual don't want to get up out of bed and don't want to become active, we want to discourage that. You want to be productive, be creative, find things around the house, find things around the yard that you can do. All right, there are things there that you can do. As I said before, be productive, be creative. And as parents, I want to encourage you to talk with your children. Find time each day, not only to talk about the pandemics, but to talk about how you are feeling. If it is that you are experiencing extreme stress, if you're feeling extremely depressed, don't be afraid. Nothing is wrong with reaching out to a professional. We are professional. I am a professional counselor. We have a guidance counselor here. So we are making ourselves available to you to offer you the support that we know is needed. All right, I believe that I would have covered most of the areas. I will be here in the question and answer segment of our presentation today. If you have any questions or queries, please feel free to ask. Mr. Small, I believe that I can hand over to you now. I believe that I would have covered almost everything. Is there anything else that I probably needed to address? No.
Well, I think you have covered everything. I know that maybe based on some concerns that might be highlighted or brought up by parents, and we can address, and maybe it will prompt maybe something that we might left off. But so far you would have covered all of it so far.
Bless the Lord. All right.
All right.
Thank you, and I'll be here still. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Carl Roach, our Dean of Discipline. And the parents, again, you can see that we are equipped to take on the challenges that this pandemic throws at us. And so it is now your responsibility to reach out to the relevant persons whenever you do face difficulty. And speaking about the responsibility, let me just now segue into parental expectation. I will be saying, giving 2 pointers about, what is it that we do expect. And I know that Mrs. Carl Roach, Mr. Hanson will come in from time to time just to add a few things to that. But I want to put something into perspective here, parents, and this is for you. Since the pandemic have been with us, we realized that there was a shift. There is a shift in responsibility somewhat of what the classroom and the school would actually handle. And that responsibility is now being placed in your hands. What am I talking about? When your child attends school, the school has a responsibility to set the tone, create the environment for school, create the environment for learning, create the environment for engagement, create the environment conducive for learning. That's the school's responsibility. The school offers the service of education. The school offers the teachers to engage your child for them to learn. Now, with the pandemic, your child now stays at home and learns from home. While the school offers the service of learning or gives the service of learning, provide the teachers, but setting the tone and setting and creating the environment for learning is no longer the responsibility of the school. It is now the responsibility of the home. And so we have noticed that there has been a deficit, there has been a drop off in terms of the attitude that our children have for learning and for school because of the fact that the tone has not been set at home. And so, my parents, I want for you to understand that our expectation of you as parents at this time is to create that environment at home. That is the way in which your child can thrive and feel as if I'm still at school. So even though the platform is there, even though the online space is there, but the tone has to be set. There must be a corner, there must be a section there at the home, in the home, where your child will sit for class. There must be a place where your child will sit and associate with school. You would have created that tone. If there's an assignment to be done, if there's homework to be done, if there are any school activity that should be done, then that is the area that your child will go to get that done. So you have a responsibility, parents, to set the tone for school. You also have a responsibility, and we are expecting of you to be on top of things. That's a general statement. Let me be a little bit more specific. Now, the challenge once we go digital or once we go online, as adults, is to convert, our attention and our energy to online. We do a lot of our stuff manual and face to face, and we do, manual calculation, and we check books and we look at papers and so on. And with the online environment or on the online space, we realize that information is sent on a screen, or you would have received an email, or you would have been prompted, in WhatsApp, or you'd have to click a link or so on. And because of that, or you have to set up an account. And because of that, you would have been deterred, you'd have been discouraged. You can't bother, you don't know how to do it. Somebody would have to help you. But you have a responsibility to get that help. You have a responsibility to know what is it that your child is a part of. Will you know in its entirety? No, but you must have an idea for the purpose of supervision. We have seen where parents leave, go to work, child is at home. The parent is assuming that the child is engaged online for that period, but the child is at home watching TV or riding bicycle on the road or doing something other than school. And so when the parent comes home, the parent doesn't know how to actually check up to find out what is happening. Is it that the child was at class today and there's nothing provided for you to get that information? I want to inform you now that the account, that account, the Google account, the credentials that your child would have in order to be a part of the Google Classroom, that one of the most important things is that it can be added to more than one device, right? So if classwork is being sent to your child's Google Classroom and you are at work, you will receive the same notification that your child received, because both devices, that's your child device and your device, is on the same account, right? So if you're at work and you receive the notification, you realize that the teacher the teacher sent an assignment or the teacher sent a class activity, you know that there is something for your child to do. And so when you come home, you will know now what is that your child is supposed to do, and you can ask about it. You can say, John, I see where assignment has been sent to you. I see Miss so-and-so sent assignment. Did you do it? No, mommy. Yes, mommy. If so, you can look at it. So you can have that level of supervision and having some level of control over your child in the online space. You might not know everything, but at least you know when information is being sent to him, or you know when information is being sent to her. So you can now, ask questions from an informed decision, knowing that something was sent. So again, the account can be placed on more than one device so that you can receive the same information that your child received. All right. You are now expected also to attend all the meetings once they are being called. Remember, in order for us to have a healthy relationship, we have to communicate effectively. And so we'll be having meetings from time to time. We'll be having grade meetings, we'll be having class meetings, so that we can have an idea of what is happening, and we can communicate with you and tell you what our plans are or what is it that we're expecting. And so you're expected to attend the meetings once they are being called and communicate with us if it's a case where you're going to be absent. Remember, we're all in this thing together. We are all here because of the one constant, which is the child. And so you're expected to really be assertive. You're expected to take on an additional mantle of creating the environment for school. That expectation would have been of the school in time gone by before COVID. You send a child to school, you're hoping that a child will be going to class, will be learning and all of that. And so that has shifted somewhat. So you now have another expectation. All right. So that is my two pieces as it relates to expectation. I'm not too certain if Mr. Hansen or Ms. Mrs. Carr Roach want to add anything to that. All right, lovely. Thank you very much. All right. We are now at the section of the questions and answers. We have, relay a lot of information to you, and I've seen some hands being raised, and we'll now be having our discourse, questions being asked and answers being provided. All right, Mr. Hansen, I want you to actually take control over that, because I am a bit unable to really scroll through at times as we try to see how best we can answer the questions regarding.
Not a problem, sir. Not a problem.
All right,
I just want to remind the parents and the students so that they can send their questions in the chat, and we will answer in the chat as well. And for those of you on YouTube, I've been answering your questions on YouTube as well. So just continue. If you have a question, you can post your question in the chat on YouTube, and I will respond. Same thing on Zoom, just post your questions, we will respond. We will not be able to take maybe all the hands that might go up, but if you post in the chat, we will be able. Many of us are here to respond to you, so you can raise your hands now, and we will allow you to ask your question if you have a question. All right, so I'm seeing a hand for Samantha Wallace. I'm going to ask you to unmute now, and you can go ahead and ask your question.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, as it relates to the information that the principal has related, as it relates to the timetable, some students will be having classes like how it was scheduled for face-to-face. So for some days, the students will have teacher-student instruction times. Another time the students will be working independently, right? Okay, when the students are working independently, will substantial work be provided for them to keep them throughout the entire day? Or what we as parents have to do is to improvise and find work for them to do. Because the fact of the matter is, we know the students we are dealing with. We know the type of children we're dealing with. And to be left to do work independently on a device where there are so many distractions, right? So I'm asking you, how best could this be monitored on a school basis as well as on a parental basis?
All right. Yes, so you are correct. There are some days that are going to be face-to-face, and there are other days that we will have
Not
independent
face to
learning.
face,
I mean, meets,
virtual
Google
space
Meets, right?
interaction.
Google Meets, right?
Yeah.
The teachers are going to be posting information in the classroom in order to aid the students with whatever topic that they would have taught and intend to teach, right? And that is going to be done across the subject areas. So if the students are doing, say, 7 subjects or 8 subjects, all of those rooms will have information. So it's not a situation where they're going to go to the maths room only to do work in math and don't go anywhere else. So that is something that parents have to keep in mind, because I noticed that parents tend to focus mostly on math and English and not remember that there are other subjects that the students do. So they will always be going to the math and English room for work for the children, but never go to the social studies and the science and the drama and the physical education and those rooms. So you have to bear that in mind as well. So that's one. And two, if your child is going faster than what is posted, we expect that you as a parent, you can ask the teacher to send you some supplemental information, send some more work for your child, or two, you can just go onto YouTube. Go into YouTube, you will know the topic that the children are doing, find some videos that can help them in the area and have them watch, and that should keep them occupied until they come back to school the following week. But what I want to say, parents, though, that many times, last year we experienced this a lot. Teachers would have posted assignments in the different classrooms, and the students would go 2, 3, 4 weeks and not do it, right? And then the parents would say that they don't see any work. So it's confusing us, because there's no way you can say that there's no work when the assignments are there and they are not done. So we're asking you, first and foremost, before you start to think about getting additional work for them to do every day, ensure that they go into the rooms and do the assignments that are posted there in the different classrooms. First thing we want you to do, parents, ensure that they complete all the different assignments, because when they come into the meets class on a Monday, Tuesday, and on a Wednesday morning, the teachers will not be focusing on them completing any assignment during class time. Those days are for strictly instruction and teaching. So the teachers are not going to stop to deal with, oh, why you didn't do your homework, and if you don't do this assignment, you won't get any grade. You know that already. We're not going to be going through that. We're not going to be wasting time to do that for this school year. When it's teaching time, it's teaching time. And we're going to come into the rooms to teach. We expect you parents to ensure that the students go online and complete the assignments, complete the given tasks, do the worksheets that will be there, so that when they come back to class, they'll be at a better place. So yes, we're going to try to ensure that we have enough there, for enough information there to keep the children for the 2 days or the 2.5 days that they're not going to be in school. Thank you so much for that question, Mommy. I know that many parents would have benefited from it. I hope I answered you sufficiently.
All right, I was looking in the chat, and a parent was asking if the students should have their videos open during class session. Yes, I'm not certain if you, well, I think you would have missed the presentation made by Mrs. Carr Roach, with what was expected. So yes, the videos must be open and their uniform must be visible. If it's a case in which the child has no uniform, then a white top. All right. So yes, it must be open. The teachers want to interact with the students, want to see their faces, and can be able to associate faces with names. Remember, now we're on the online space, so it is very difficult to do so. So we want to be able to associate the faces with the names.
I want to add something. Last year we got a lot of complaints from as it relates to the data being used up when the camera is on. And as I stressed in my presentation, that if whatever issues you're having, if it is that you're having this issue with the data and so forth, please communicate. However, if it is that you cannot keep your camera on, the picture that is displayed must be clear. There should be no mask, there should be no emojis on the pictures. It must be a clear picture of the student in their uniform. And again, let me say to you that when you log on to all your sessions, you are to have your name. Your name should be spelled, all your name. So just like when I'm looking at Jonathan Patient, all your names should be there. So no aliases or anything like that. Last year we spoke about it, and when I went into classes, I had to be talking to students again and again. So parents, you've heard, students, you've heard again. If it is that you continue to do that, you will be removed from the class, put in the waiting room, or there are going to be consequences. So please just adhere. All right.
All right, any other questions?
Seem to have done a pretty good job today. I think we seem to have done a pretty
2
good job
hours,
today,
yes.
disseminating the information. We don't intend to be here much longer. We're not going to pass 12:30 any at all, and we're just putting up some time to facilitate a few questions. And I see that some hands are going up. Please, if you would have already addressed the issue that you're going to be asking about, do not ask again. All right, please. Go ahead, Devante James.
Sir, when we're going to meet our farm teacher, sir.
You just did today? That was the first meeting?
Class, sir.
Yes, so as I had said earlier, you would need to go into your Google Classroom and accept the invitations for your form room. And then when you go into that room, your form teachers will be there with you next week, Monday.
Yes.
Monday morning. As a matter of fact, Monday morning, Mr. Small and Mrs. Harrison Thomas, they're going to meet you for an assembly. All right. So you need to accept the invitation for your form room. That is where they're going to be communicating with you and sending out information to you. So you do that first. All right.
Thanks,
so students,
sir.
thank you so much for that question. I know that many of you would have benefited from that. Thank you, Devante. So students, please remember, you're going to accept the invitation for your form room so that you can be informed. You can get the information that you need going forward. All right, so I'm going to take now Brown, it's Omarion Brown. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Omarion's mommy. My internet was giving problems. I didn't catch the part when the lady was talking about face class timing. He was in 7, and so I think he's going into 7-8. So I would like to
Talking about
confirm.
what? I didn't hear you. What did you say? She was talking about what?
She was talking about plans to face if school should be open. So I didn't get to catch that part. So I was wondering if you could like repeat it for me so I can get a better understanding of
What exactly would you like to know? When we're going to return face to face?
Oh, she was explaining that. As I said, I didn't catch it properly. They like she was saying like 7, 8, and half of 9.
Okay. I understand what you're saying.
I didn't
Yes, so
thing because my internet was giving problems.
Okay, I understand it now. All right, so grade 7, 8, and half of grade 9, right, will come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Wednesday, we're going to have all the students coming in on Wednesday. One set will come in the morning session and another set will come in the afternoon session. All right, so on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, this is grade 8 now, so I'm speaking specifically to you, grade 8. On Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday from 8 to 11, you will be having classes face-to-face. That's when we go face-to-face. If and when we go face-to-face, so bear that in mind. When you're online, it's the same thing. The same timetable you're going to be using. When you're online, you have classes Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 11. However, on the online space, we are going to make some provisions for you to have some additional classes, seeing that we're not face-to-face and we can do more when you're online. So we're going to put some measures in place. We have done so for you to have some additional sessions on a Thursday or on a Friday as well. But when we go face-to-face, it will only be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning. For the other 2 days, you will go online and go to the Google Classroom and access information from there. I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much. If you have a follow-up, you can just post it in the chat.
And if it's a case, I was saying that if in addition, it's a case in which she mentioned that she had missed the first part of the presentation, you can always go over to YouTube. It is recorded there and it is there. So you can always go back and review it. And then you can, pick the relevant information that you necessarily need there as well.
Beautiful. Yes. Thank you, sir. Isaac King. Go ahead and unmute.
Good morning or good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, Isaac did not attend class last year because of carelessness of Ministry of Education. I came in more than one time to the school and they told me that they will put me on WhatsApp. Up till now, I'm not on WhatsApp. I just got this information from a parent, okay? I don't know what to do or what procedure I'm to take with Isaac right now.
All right, so let me do. I've had dialogue with you, mommy. So first and foremost, did you get the WhatsApp number that you're supposed to send a message to for you to be added to the group?
I leave everything at the office.
No, man, I'm talking about in this meeting. I'm talking about this meeting. We gave some information in this meeting.
I just got it a while ago. But if it wasn't a parent, I would not have the line.
Mommy, do you have the telephone number for the school? Do you have the telephone number for the school? Yes, you did. And I told you that all you need to do is to register your child and your child will be invited to the different classrooms and so on as with every other child. However, for you to get onto the WhatsApp group, what we're asking you to do is to send a message to this telephone number, 818-1965, and you will get an invitation.
I sent it already.
Right, so you will get an invitation to join the WhatsApp. But everything else that has to do with your child has already been dealt with.
And it's not my child, it's a ward of the state.
Yeah, I understand. It's still our child, our child. So you shouldn't have a problem, really. All right, so thank you so much. Let us move to the next person. Anike Morris. Unmute and go ahead, please. Unmute, Anike, go ahead, please.
Okay. Are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you now.
Okay, good day. I missed out a part. I was interrupted when you were explaining about the grade 8 students coming in. And I just want you to recap what you just said. And also I'm asking about the book rentals for the same grade 8 students.
All right, so as was said earlier, the students grades 7, 8, and 9, and half of grade 9. So I was speaking specifically now to grade 8, seeing that we're dealing with grade 8. you'll come in when it's time for face-to-face. You'll come in on a Monday, Tuesday, and on a Wednesday from 8 to 11. And while you're online now, it's the same thing. You have classes Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and on Wednesday it's 8 to 11. However, because we're in the online space, we have set up some additional sessions for the students, so they will have classes at other points. So when the timetable is posted, I'll be posting the timetables. You'll get the tables in the WhatsApp groups. You'll see the timetables in the form rooms. You will be able to see exactly what the students will be doing on the days when they'll be doing it, because your timetable will reflect the days when they would have class, whether it's face-to-face or online. As it relates to the rental books, you can go to school to have those, to collect those books. The book room is open on a Wednesday, Thursday, and on a Friday. All right, so what we have asked parents to do is that when they go in to school, that they go to the book room to collect their books on that particular day. But what we're gonna do though, to ensure that whenever you go there, to ensure that the room is open, we're going to be posting a schedule in the WhatsApp group. We're going to be posting a schedule for you to know when exactly, the time exactly that you are supposed to go, because we have to try to minimize the crowd. We don't want too many people to be going there on the same day. So we're going to put out the schedule so that you can have an idea of the different times that you can go and collect books for the children. Bear this in mind. If the child is not registered, they will not be getting books. Child has to be registered before you can collect books. That's one. And two, if you got books last year, you would need to return them before you get the books for this year. So when you're going to the book room, you would need to return all the books you got last year. If you got books, you would need to return those before you can get the books for grade 8. And if you are not registered, you also would not be able to collect the books, because the truth is, parents, if a child is not registered in the school, the child is not a member of the school. There are many children who move and go to other places each year and don't inform us, and they just don't register. And they don't inform us, they don't register. Sometimes we don't know where they go until later on when we are checking to see why we're not seeing them. We hear that they're attending another school. So we are going to assume that you are not planning to come back to Innswood if you don't register. You're planning to go to another school in the country or somewhere else. And when we start to make our phone calls, we will know where exactly you are. So registration indicates to us that you intend to be with us for the academic year. That is why every year you have to register, and also to update the information that we have. Because some of you gave us some telephone numbers last year that don't work anymore. No? After a month, they stop working, and so on. And some of you move and live in some different places now, so you have a new address. So if the guidance counselor or the dean need to visit you for whatever reason, they can't find where you live. So we need to get updated information for you, and registration gives us that information. And so I'm going to ask you to ensure that you're registered. Thank you so much. I hope that answered your question. I'm going to move to.
I was checking the chat. I saw persons querying book rental distribution. All right, please remember, in a statement made by our acting principal, that there's a hold that is being placed on the distribution of book rental books. We're trying to look towards getting ebooks, electronic books online, so that the students can access it. So just watch the space, and you will be duly notified as to the progress of that. All right, so just be patient.
Somebody's asking if they can pick up the rental book with the bank voucher. No, the bank voucher does not indicate that the child is registered. The bank voucher indicates that you made a payment at the bank. Okay, so that is a part of the registration process. It's a part of the registration process. There are people who come and pay the fees and so on, and still don't come back. And the important thing for us really is that we can get our information updated. It's a huge part of the registration. We can have the information for you, especially in this time. especially in this time when we will need to contact you in the virtual space. We need to call you, or if something should go, if we should go back face to face and your child should get sick, we need to be able to reach you. So you need to register. All right, very important.
How do they get into the various groups? Various WhatsApp groups?
Just send a WhatsApp message to the telephone number that we just gave you, and you'll be added to the WhatsApp group for your grade. That's just send a WhatsApp message to say, please add this number to the grade 8. Please add this number for Omarion Brown to the grade 8 WhatsApp group. Or for the parent, you can just put your name and the grade that you want to be added to, because all the grades are going to be sending information to that number, right? So you have to indicate, put your name and the grade that you'd like to be added to, and we will send you an invite. And when you get that invite, you will just click on it and it will take you automatically into the group. Just click on join or join group and our view group, whatever comes up on your device, and it will take you directly to the WhatsApp group. All right. Thank you so much.
Also, please do not leave your form, your class group, your class WhatsApp group. Do not leave the group. Stay in that same group. If you're in 7I, please stay in that same 7I WhatsApp group. That information will be sent to your current form teacher now in grade 8, and the contact remain, and the situation remain, and the group remain the same. All right, so please don't leave the group.
Good.
All right, so we have 2 hands remaining. These are the 2 last hands that we will take.
Indeed.
Is that Tivrain Bennett? Go ahead and unmute.
Sir, is next week we going to face-to-face?
No, son, we're not going to face-to-face yet. We are online. We'll be online for at least the first 5 or so weeks of school until about mid-October, based on what the directive is from the government of Jamaica. All right, so we're going to be online. We're not going to be face-to-face just yet. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
But you'll be seeing it, your teachers next week, Monday, Tuesday, and half of Wednesday. The next half, right. Thursday and Friday, you'll be getting your activities online to do. All right?
Okay, beautiful. And Jonathan Patience, go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Okay, sir, I was wondering, when could the parents go down to school and pay for the school fee?
Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays on the no movement days. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Okay, those are the days that you can go to the school. And remember, if you are able to pay online, we ask that you do so. If you have access to a bank close to you, an NCB bank that is accepting cash, you can make the payment there as well. But if none of those facilities can work for you, that is when we will accept cash from you at the school to ensure that you are, you're not at a disadvantage, so to speak. So on a Monday, Tuesday, or a Wednesday, you can go by the school and make that payment. All right, thank you so much for that question. I'm going to take Mrs. Easy Brown, who is the book room resource management administrator, and she is the best person to speak to you regarding textbooks and ebooks and all of those. So she will address you now, and I'm going to ask that whatever directive she gives you, that you will listen to her, because she's the person who runs that room. Okay, please.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another school year, and we do look forward to working with you even harder and smarter this year. All right, I'm hearing the concerns regarding the book rentals, but please understand that because of the gathering, and it's kind of difficult to manage that based on how the book room is set up, because when we are inside, we don't see what you're doing outside, and we really don't want you exposed. And given the directive from the ministry, you will not be receiving rental books until you see a schedule in your classroom or in your WhatsApp groups. So watch out for that, all right? And as Mr. Hansen said, please remember all the books that you got when you were in grade 7, please take them back when you're coming in to collect your books, all right? So one thing I want to point out to you also, maybe you may come in and a parent or a child takes in a set of grade 8 books. We will not be giving those books to you at the same time because we want to put them down and allow for at least a week for them to sanitize themselves, because we know the uncertainties and we don't want to assist in transmitting anything. So we're really going to have to be patient with each other this year. We're going to work with you. Your teachers are going to be working with you. We're going to try our best as possible. If there's something from the textbook, we'll try to put it up in your classrooms as much as possible. I know that some of you want the books, and I am still not happy that some of you are collecting the books and not using them. And I really don't want to hear the excuse that your teachers are not using them, because the fact of the matter is when most of the classes, I don't have the books, it's difficult for the teacher to do it. But we're trying to work it another way this year, but we're still encouraging you to come out and collect your books, but watch out for the schedule. If you don't see a schedule, it means it's not yet time to move. But we're working assiduously to get that up and running in the fastest possible time. I thank you. I hope that clears up everything.
Indeed.
Thank you so
Indeed.
much, Miss.
Well
Really
said, yes.
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so Mr. Small, Mrs. Harrison Thomas, I'm going to hand over to you now to give your final comments, and then we will go out with a song.
All right. All right. Parents, students, I want to thank you for coming out this morning into this afternoon, just to share in this program, to share in what is it that we have to offer, to share in this relationship, this positive relationship that we are promoting, so that we can move forward, and so that we can reach the target, and so that we can reach our students in the best possible way. I saw somebody posted in the chat commending Mr. Romano Pitt for his father figure role in the grade 7 as a grade 7 form teacher. And it speaks volume as to the effort that we put in place in trying to get our students to love school, to enjoy learning, and to understand that even though there are challenges, but we can do, or we can indeed overcome these challenges. And so I'm grateful for the fact that we have a lot of persons who came out. We had, I know that over 100, try to enter the Zoom platform, but that it cannot exceed 100. And so they would have been viewing on YouTube. I want to thank you very much for being a part of this platform, for hearing what we have to offer, what we have to say. And we now have, a full understanding of what is it that we need to do as Innswood High School, and the expectation as parents and students, exactly what is it that you need to do. And going forward, we'll be meeting, periodically to again, re-emphasize and to amplify and to continue to keep this good relationship going. And so I'm going to ask that you try to be available for these meetings. I thank you very much. I want for you to continue to maintain physical distancing. I'm going to say physical distancing. I want for you to adhere to the protocols and try as best as possible to keep safe. We had wished, we wish that we could have met face-to-face, but unfortunately, that cannot be the case. But with that being said, this program was an enjoyable one, was an informative one. Parents, I do appreciate you coming in and giving your airing your concerns, and so we were able to relay information with even more clarity. I thank you very much for that. Let me thank my form teachers who came out, did their very energetic and passionate introduction. Students, you know and you see that they're eager and they're anxious and they're also waiting to meet you on a personal level. So I want you to open your arms, accept your teachers, speak with your teachers, interact with your teachers, and you will be having a very good time enjoying this academic year. As I said earlier, we are arranging to have a general assembly where we meet with our grade 8 students each week, a Monday of each week, generally, and set the tone. Virtually, that is. Yes, thank you. So that we can set the tone for a productive week. All right. So thank you very much. We are definitely on time and we will be seeing each other soon.
Thank you so much, Mr. Small.